Hey guys, nice to see you again. Thanks for staying with us on Astro Awani. Now, architects are normally fun people, so I'm really excited to talk to these two gents that are my guests for today. Now, if Italy has Dolce & Gabbana, in Malaysia we have Sacha and Tan. So, my name is Syed Fradin Omar. My guests are renowned architects Sacha and Tan, and you are watching in person. Right, and here are the gents themselves. Hi guys, thank you so much for having me this afternoon. Hi. Now, so, the question. So who's Dolce and who's Gabbana?
The question will throw back to you. Who do you think is Dolce, who's Gabbana?
Oh, no. It doesn't work that way, no. But yeah, again, thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
I'm really excited to actually be seeing a house that's lived in by an architect. Normally, it's probably all your passion put into one place here?
That's right, yeah.
So this is your house, yeah?
This is my house, yes.
Okay, but do you have any input in his house then?
No,
yeah? So that's where you draw the line.
You get invited to the house as a guest.
Yeah. That's pretty nice. So tell me about the synergy. I mean, how is it working together? I mean, there's no perfect question to actually put this, but, tell me about working together as a team here.
I think it's important to know where our roles lie. And I think we were quite different because we first started off working on a project quite separately before we got together as a business partnership. And there was, on a subconscious level, something that sort of clicked, that sort of led us on to consolidating the partnership. And I think it's very important that we try and understand, I guess, each other's strengths. And also, more importantly, like I said, the role and how we run a role in the office, so that we don't cross each other's paths. I mean, like for me, I really deal on things like the branding of the office. I deal on the technical side, the drawings, the contract side. Whereas Soon here, he deals mostly on the finance and on the business development side.
Right, I see.
Yeah.
So that's the synergy where you look at points A, B, C, you look at D, E, F, but there must be certain things that you actually, where your paths actually cross, right?
Yeah, I mean, especially I think we are talking about the different scope of work in the office. I think the important thing is the interest in design. I think that is the common part that we both have. There's a certain passion that we like. I think I think we both was educated in UK. I think there's certain. I mean, Sacha went to ballet, I went to AA. So, I mean, both are in London. So I guess during the time, the kind of lifestyle that we are used to, whatever we're exposed to, I think eventually that helped to anchor our two working relationships together. That's important.
So what actually drives this partnership then?
Passion for design.
So it's design. Design is the
underlying factor.
The rice in this.
It's the rice, really,
in this dish.
Pretty much. And if I may just go back a little bit about how we work, we have this peculiar thing that we have in the office. That if there's something that we don't agree upon, and let's say we put a proposal together, and if one of us says no, actually it's a no. It doesn't matter if one partner, like for example, Soon feels very strongly about it, and I don't. It's still, we don't go ahead with it. So it's something that we respect. And I think that's helped us along the way because it's sort of led us to sort of reduce the sort of amount of conflicts that you normally have in a partnership.
Right.
Yeah.
So now, if I'm being a little bit hypocritical about things here, so if one says no, then the other does not pursue it to a certain extent. I think so the no supersedes the yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Why?
Because I think on my part, when there's a proposal on the table, there's a very strong instinct that says no. So we respect that instinct. And for example, I might be clouded by other judgments at that point in time. So I have to trust Soon on that. Because a lot of times when we're in the office, a lot of things that are going on in the background when you have to make a decision.
Right, I see.
So,
If I may add to that, I think it's also important is let's say if I undertake a certain project, and I might be the one leading it, but I will also want Sacha's full support. So if it's half-hearted, it's not quite agreeable, then I don't get a full 100% support. So the project might not be what we are looking for. We might not get the result of what we wanted.
And this formula has,
it works.
It works. Been weathered for years.
That's why we are so
yeah,
it works. It works.
Yeah, I have to admit, yeah.
And the other beauty is I think we don't kind of look back and say, oh, we should have done this, we should say yes, we should no. The minute the decision is made, it's final.
It's final. We just move on with it, and we don't dwell on it anymore.
And you move on to the next.
Just move on to the next thing, because so many other things will come our way, and so many other new decisions have to be made. So
I like this. This is sort of like parenting, where the mom says no, and the father tries to say yes. You better not listen to mom. Mom says no, and no means no. But okay, talk to us a little bit about the formation of Sacha and Tan. How did things come about to what they are today?
As far back as
I think you've got one more portfolio, which is being the spokesperson.
As far back as the year 2000, I think. We were working on a project together. Soon was at Hijaz. I was with another company then. And we were playing separate roles. I mean, we're not part of an organization yet.
Yeah.
And at that point, we were going through a period in our lives where we were working for people, and I guess, quietly we all thought that it would be nice to do something on our own. So I approached Soon, and I can't remember for whatever reason, but I said, hey, what do you think if we started an office together? Because before then, we were not friends before then. We sort of started to know each other through this project, really.
Right, so Sacha, you approached Soon to actually get things going.
Actually, I think, yes, I did.
I mean, at that point, I'm already no longer with Hijaz Kasri.
Yes.
Right.
I think it's the timing was right, and I think Sacha was the one who opened the idea to me. I guess he kind of didn't give me any chance to think about it, and went and set up and started all the office and all that. I think it happened very fast. I mean, I no regret. I think I'm glad that happened.
Clearly, no regrets. Yeah.
And Sacha went ahead. It's like zoom. The next thing I realized, the office is set up. The company, the computer, but all the books and set
everything
up.
was done.
Yeah, I was quite lucky there.
So on that note, we have to go for
like a marriage.
We have to go for a very short break right now. But when we come back, I can't wait to actually take a peep inside. So stay with us on In Person.
Memecutlah dengan pelan Ultimate baharu. Satu-satunya pelan internet yang membolehkan anda memilih peranti anda sendiri. Alami keseronokan akses tanpa had ke Facebook, YouTube dan One Music. Daftarlah sekarang.
Bagi saya kereta sangat penting. Setiap hari saya memandu lebih daripada 100 km. Kereta saya selalu susah nak hidup. Sekarang tak lagi. Saya dalam dunia perniagaan, bagi saya penjimatan sangat penting. Petronas Primax 95 Extra memberi saya lebih kilometer. Ia dapat memberi penjimatan dalam jangka masa yang panjang. Awak patut cuba sendirilah kot.
Alaminya sendiri.
This June, an exclusive Sudut Pandang coverage on the 25th Asia Pacific Roundtable in Kuala Lumpur.
We are one of that regional arrangements. ASEAN will have to rise up to this kind of challenges.
2015 sangat penting untuk bisa mencapai ASEAN Community yang kita idam-idamkan.
Catch Sudut Pandang Mondays to Thursdays 10 p.m. only on Astro Awani.
So this is what it looks like inside. So this is what an architect's home looks like. Is this a typical architect's home? Is this where you throw in all your ideas?
Not quite. I think it's quite personal. I mean, I always treat this house as my sanctuary. And I'm an outdoor person. I like plant and especially bright place. So you can see here, I mean, literally the walls are all taken down. There's a skylight and a lot of green, So it's a place where I can come back and recharge. So that's I think the key design philosophy that I have. You know.
But again, this is where you draw the line. Then. So you cannot.
I got nothing to do with this.
But can you comment on it though?
Yeah, I think I do take comment pretty well, and I think Sacha and Fiona have been here many times for lunch and dinner. They seem to enjoy it. I don't know whether it's my food or the environment. But
Soon is an excellent cook, by the way.
Oh, fantastic! Wow, wow. Hint, hint, invitation. Anyway,
definitely.
Okay, so now, the world of design is such a fast-moving world. Everything changes and trends. What's trendy today is not tomorrow. Okay, style is eternal, but still, you have to really, put the sweat hours in to actually stay ahead and relevant. So how do you actually stay ahead and relevant in this fast-moving world?
Funny thing, about a week ago we had a discussion because Datum was coming up, Datum KL. We were invited to do an installation out of, I think, about 7 architects. We were one of them. And we sat down and tried to sort of answer this question in a kind of way. To be honest, we really don't try and be trendy. We don't go out there and say, let's create something trendy and let's create something in vogue. We don't, because as you say, trends come and go, so we don't really want something that's going to be out of, not set of style, but something that is aged very quickly.
Okay.
So when it comes to anything new in the office, we try to fall back on our philosophy. And our philosophy is a little bit like, we tell ourselves, everything that we do, everything, design, architecture, interior design, what we do, we always want to create something that tells a good story. What it means by that is, first thing we do is to try and create a narrative behind what we're trying to do. That means to tell a story about what we're trying to do. Secondly is, like the word good in the good story is like, we try and input a lot of quality into our work. Quality, of course, in the execution, but more importantly is, I think, we want to create an improvement in the quality of life of the people that go into our design. In that sense, that in a funny kind of way, what we also mean is we want to create quality spaces instead of trying to create quality containers. So we tend to move from the inside out in terms of how we approach our design. So if
it's inside out.
Inside out, yeah.
It is inside out.
If it happens to be trendy, then I think it's a result of what we've put in, and we never really set it out to become trendy. In a way, we let the industry decide whether our work is good or bad. But when we do it, we put in our, like I said, our philosophy, and also very importantly, our passion into what we do.
Right, I see. Yeah. So being trendy is definitely not part of the agenda. If you're on vogue, then you're on vogue.
Yes.
But as I said, style is something that's eternal. So what is your style then? Your house style, if I may? Or is there such thing as a house style within your...
We like our lines to be quite clean. We like to express the materials that we use almost in its natural state, in its raw state. These are the two quite strong styles that, if there's ever such a word that we would like to use, these are the two strong styles that we have. I think it's apparent in Soon's house. You asked me whether I had any comments. Actually, it's gone through one change in the renovation. I think it's this wall. I have to admit, when I first came in here, I enjoy it. I really thought it's really nice. It's something that I would do. So in that sense, I think it proves that we're on the same wavelength.
So this wall is an example of how you implement your style in your execution. So what wall is this again?
Which one did the kind? Yeah, this is just a Shanghai plaster. Actually, use a grey cement.
Right, I see. I think I was going through your portfolio, and one of your developments is the one in Bukit Rimau. One of the facades is actually unfinished. Is it concrete or timber?
It was actually intended. It's actually concrete with the timber framework. And
this is how an example of how Sacha explained how you implemented your style in. So, what are your inspirations?
Boss, that's a tough question.
What inspires you?
I think A lot of my inspiration is drawn on what I experience in every day, you know, from waking up or jog or to where I go to you know, you just absorb it like a sponge. You absorb things that, you know, around you, and short of saying is that you have to constantly be aware of your surrounding. That's what I draw my inspiration from. That's to me it's important. I think there are a lot of things that you can use it as a reference, and without realizing it. So sometimes you'll be surprised by what you can find along the way, even just by walking and think, hey, that's a good idea. I mean, maybe I can implement it into the design. You know, that's how I work.
Right, I see. Okay. Well, we have to go for another short break right now, but I think I can see some kuih over there. So, is that something Soon made? I doubt it. Okay, we're going to go for a short break right now, but when we come back, got more questions for Sacha and Soon. So stay with us on In Person. Come.
Isnin hingga Kamis. Agenda Awani secara langsung bersama Suhaimi Sulaiman.
Sama dengan pasukan hebat dari Sinar FM yang mempunyai 4.2 juta pendengar.
Dia tanya, abang tu buat hidung kat mana? Kan nak cuci hidung.
Lepas tu, komisi break.
Diteliti pemimpin, pakar dan ilmuwan dari pelbagai aspek. Agenda Awani, 8.15 malam di Astro Awani. Berita segenap dimensi.
Telefon untuk melanggan. Sila ke saluran 130 untuk pratonton Mustika.
Monday on Entrepreneur.
Online shopping is not new. When I first started, a lot of the designers were already my friends. I didn't know that this good rapport with designers would benefit me. They were very confident of this idea and share the same vision as I do. I wear a lot of the FV clothes, the fashion value clothes, because I believe that if the owner doesn't believe in the product, why would others? My wardrobe is just fashion value.
Entrepreneur, Monday 9:30 p.m. on Astro Awani.
You know, the best thing is, you know, we're in a really glitzy architect's apartment, you know, very Scandinavian and all that, and then we still get kuih bingka, and you've got kuih lapis. It's very traditional, so it's, you know, it's nice to see that we haven't lost our Malaysian roots here, guys.
That's right.
Okay, secara tidak malunya, I've got some food whilst they've got drinks. So now, tell me, tell us about the fun bits, you know, some of the projects that you guys are really proud of.
I have to admit, I think we like our Turi project, the one in Batam.
In Pulau Batam, yeah?
Yeah. First time we've gone abroad, had our first exposure abroad. So that was a good experience. It wasn't an easy job.
It was very
by
tough
any
job.
measure. Any measure.
Very difficult.
Why? What were the challenges there?
First thing was the logistics. Second were the way that the organisation that was set up to handle the project. For example, on the logistics side, Batam's not very far away now. AirAsia flies there, but when we were doing the project, we had to. The commute was nearly 6 hours. We had to go to Singapore, wait for the ferry, land at the port, and then get to our site. So it's a very, very long commute, and there were times when we had to do it every week.
Okay.
So it's very, very tiring. On the client side, clients were great, and they were fantastic people. But it's just that decision making was always based on a single person.
Okay.
So we had to make sure that the person was there, and if it's not there, we had to make sure that we get the decision made. And it's actually not difficult because they might be flying away. You know, it's not done by a committee. It's actually led by an individual. So that was quite difficult.
Right, I see. But as a whole?
The other hard part is also because it's the first time we work in Indonesia as well. So the way, I think the way how the culture of working is different. I mean, it was also a learning curve as well first. I mean, it was great fun eventually. I think the beauty for us is when every time in the project, the fun part of it actually the whole duration of working. We get to know the people, we become close to, and that's the joy of.
And you get to know the international market, which is something much, a knowledge that's very valuable to you.
Absolutely.
But okay, so those were the difficult bits about Turi. But what did you like about it? Looking at the pictures, I find very little not to like. But hey. From your point of view.
Well, the irony of it is, as bad as the traveling was difficult, there were times when you enjoyed the traveling. Because for me, I find that when I travel, that's the time when I have time away from the office and I actually have time to think. Because a lot of times when you're in the office, we get the guys in the office, they come to you and there's always things to solve. Because we're very much hands-on in terms of the design work that we do still. We don't delegate, everything still comes back to us. So
right, I see.
When you travel, it sort of opens up your mind a little bit, gives you time to think. So I quite enjoyed that. The site's actually quite beautiful. Difficult to imagine that it's only half an hour from Singapore, literally by boat.
But yet it's still quite stunning as can be seen on the photos.
Yeah, we would like to think so. Anyway.
Yes, it looks very lovely indeed. Now, okay, so that's one thing that you do. It's a resort home. It's a resort.
It's a resort, a full-fledged hotel.
It's a full-fledged hotel.
Completely,
okay,
yes.
So you do that, and I can see also that you do offices. Of the different types of portfolios that you have to apply yourselves to, is there a preference in what you like to do?
Not really. No. We don't do homes for people.
Okay.
I mean, like ID site, we don't do that. But in terms of range of work, we are not selective. I mean, a lot of times when we speak with our friends abroad, they always ask us, so what do you specialize in? To be honest, Malaysia is not big enough for us to say, hey, we just want to do industrial buildings, or we just want to do apartments. We can't do that. We can't do that. We can't afford to do that. So
right, I see.
We tend to have an open mind about the projects that come through the office.
But are there any projects that actually gives you kicks? Like, say, hey, look, it's another restaurant renovation.
I personally prefer more hospitality. I mean, that's why the restaurant, the resort part of it is something that I get a pleasure of doing it. But at the same time, it's extremely time-consuming and it's very detail-driven. We would definitely hope to be able to establish that department in the near future. But that's why currently we are more focused on commercial. When we say commercial, it's that kind of mixed development, offices and this kind of thing.
Yeah.
But at hindsight, I think in the near future, when we have the time, I think we will be. I mean, there's one particular project, if it materializes in Phuket, I think it will be something we'll be extremely proud of. It's basically based on complete recyclable material.
Right, I see.
Sustainable and eco-friendly.
So
I mean, that is something.
It's something that you guys
it's
don't overlook. Yeah.
Yeah, something that almost like, my God, where do we start? Because it's not a drawing. It's almost like it's like art. You create, with your hand, pick things up and put them together. So that is something that the meeting's actually tomorrow. We actually hope.
Just a little reminder, the meeting's actually tomorrow.
Yes, as you can see.
And I think those are, two of the one we actually went to the site with the company. We're very excited about that particular project. So it actually will take us to another level in architecture as well.
Right,
and that's something I think will be interesting.
Now I can see that you've actually done work in Indonesia, and you've got other projects. I think in the Middle East also.
We did interior work in Burj Al Khalifa, the
Burj Al Khalifa,
for a Malaysian client. Right now we've got some work in China, mixed development. It's been about 1.5 years now, so that is another cultural experience in itself. Hopefully, inshallah, maybe something in Phuket.
So, one can only ask, how do you plan to better yourselves? How do you go ahead, forward, beyond whatever that you have achieved right now?
I think it's very important that we keep our focus.
To be passionate about what you're doing as well.
Just to maintain the passion that we have is also very important. I think these are the two things that we would like to maintain in our approach, because actually it's very easy to be distracted. As much as we would like to paint a rosy picture of architecture and development in this country, actually it's quite a difficult profession, because there are a lot of setbacks as you go along, you know. Gestation periods for architecture is about 3, 4, 5 years sometimes. Along the way, and in the modern economic climate, you could go through another cycle. If you go through a down cycle, in the middle of the project, what do, you know? For the duration of us being in practice, we've gone through maybe 2, not big ones, but the last cycle, you know, we went through, we felt it.
Yeah.
So it's very important that we maintain our focus, because it's very easy to be discouraged and also distracted from it. And that's what we like to do.
Well, you felt it, but you're still around and you're still known as Sacha and Tan. You know, few names actually come up when we're talking about architecture films. Well, that's all the time we have, guys. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Sacha,
and
thank you
very much.
Soon.
Thank you. Very much.
It's a pleasure talking to you guys,
Thank you
and
very
I look forward to doing more clicks on your website to find out what else you guys are up to. That's it from me. In this program, I've been talking to Sacha and Tan, one of the most important names in the local architecture scene, in my books at least. Now, you've been watching in person, and I hope to be seeing you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.